Hi, my name is Tiffany McKerracher, and this is my audience, Anthony. Unfortunately, my daughter couldn't make it, so he's my only audience member. So I'll begin. I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make others happy because they know what it's like to feel absolutely worthless, and they don't want anybody else feeling like that. That was a quote from one of the greatest entertainers of all time, Robin Williams. Robin Williams was one of the funniest comedians around. He was an amazing actor, and he always seemed to have a great time with his stand-up acts. But Robin had a dark secret that nobody knew about. He suffered from depression and anxiety, and he also suffered from addiction. I would like to start by discussing Robin's childhood. I will then move on to discuss his successful career in comedy and acting. I will then discuss his addiction to drugs and alcohol, and I will end by talking about his death. Let's begin by talking about young Robin. Robin Williams was born on July 21st, 1951 in Chicago, Illinois. His mother was Laura McLaurin. She was an actress and a model. His father was Robert Fitzgerald Williams. He was a senior executive at Ford Motors Company. Both his mother and father were extremely successful in their careers. This caused Robin to be raised mostly by his nanny. Even though he spent a lot of time alone, he still grew up to have an extremely successful acting career. Robin got his start on the camera doing films and movies. He started by doing TV shows such as Mork and Mindy and Happy Days. On Mork and Mindy, he played Mork, and in Happy Days, he played the alien Mork, which then turned into the TV show Mork and Mindy. His film debut was in the 1980 version of Popeye, where he played Popeye. He went on to star in 108 different films, including Aladdin, Hook, Good Will Hunting, and Jumanji. Ironically, in 1998, Robin starred in the movie What Dreams May Come. This movie was about a woman who lost both of her children and her husband in car accidents in a short amount of time. Robin's character was making his way through the afterlife when his guide had to take him to the deepest, darkest depths of hell to retrieve his wife who had committed suicide. It's very different from his normal comedy that he was typically cast in. During his time as a rising comedian and movie star, he became addicted to cocaine and alcohol. He often made his addiction struggles skits in his stand-up acts. According to HollywoodReporter.com, Robin Williams suffered from addiction for over 30 years. He told People magazine in 1988 that cocaine was a way for him to hide. While most people used it to get hyped up, he told the magazine that he actually used it to calm himself down. With the impending birth of his first son, Zach, and the devastating overdose death of his good friend, John Belushi, Robin decided it was time to make a serious change. He quit drugs and alcohol cold turkey. He spent the next 20 years clean and sober. Unfortunately, in 2006, he relapsed. His family held an intervention for him, and he decided to check himself in to Oregon's Hazelden Springbrook Treatment Center. A few weeks before his death, Robin also started a 12-step program to help with his ongoing sobriety. On August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams' personal assistant found him dead in his room. Robin had hung himself with a belt. It was only after his suicide that his struggle with severe depression came to light. To the public eye, Williams seemed like a happy-go-lucky comedian who loved what he did. But his family and friends saw something different. They saw a man who had suffered with depression for years. The Los Angeles Times quoted his friend Rick Overton saying that he'd started to disconnect over the last few months of his life. He would rarely return phone calls anymore. Not only was he suffering from depression, but he was also suffering from the early onset of Parkinson's disease. According to PBS.org, his autopsy revealed that he also had a form of dementia called Lewy body dementia. This disease caused things such as memory loss, hallucinations, muscle stiffness, and balance problems. Could this be the reason that Robin Williams decided to end his life? We'll never know. Despite the depression, addiction, and dementia, Williams will be remembered for his amazing achievements in the film and comedy industries. His death broke millions of people's hearts. His suicide shocked nations and caused millions of people to rethink depression. Millions of people will miss the man that they fell in love with over the years of his acting career. Robin was quoted saying, "Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind. Always." If only he knew how true that would be in his own life.